please welcome Mr. Mayor John Giles.
Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to be back at Mesa Morning Live. Obviously, I am not Mark Cordes. I know you've tried to manage your disappointment. Mark, as you know, has got a horrible life, and occasionally he has to go on cruises and work. So that is what Mark is doing today. So let's give him a hard time when he comes back. But I am excited to be here because I am a big fan of Mesa Morning Live and a big fan of the Mesa Chamber, and there's a lot of really great people to talk to today. Also, you are so lucky. This is like Oprah. Everybody is, well, okay, I'm sorry. It's not like Oprah. Everybody's not going to win something, but a few of you are going to win some really cool stuff today. So I hope that's you. I do have a few important things to share with you. We're going to talk about, thank you, but there's some behind-the-scenes sponsors. As you can tell, today was spectacular. People that are here live for Mesa Morning Live. Got a great breakfast from Cracker Barrel, so thank you very much. But also, there's some behind-the-scenes sponsors, including Alpha Graphics, Gateway Bank, the East Valley Tribune, Yvonne Martinez Photography, Cobblestone Auto Spa, International Minute Press, and Crescent Crown Distributing. So thank you very much for those sponsors that made this possible. Also, well, I take it back. Everybody is a winner today, because when you walk out, you get to make sure you grab a bag on your way out. How many people remember Ladmo bags? Okay, every year it's fewer and fewer hands go up. But we were all traumatized. If you grew up in Mesa, Arizona, you were traumatized as a child because you did not get a Ladmo bag. Maybe the lucky few did. But all of you are getting Ladmo bags today, but we call them Sally bags. And so if you want to, so make sure you pick one up. And if you're part of a business that wants to promote things, next time make sure that we got your stuff inside the bag for the guests that walk out. Okay, it's also important that you turn off your phone. Apparently they frown on phones going off during television shows. So if your phone goes off, there's a kind of a standing rule here that you're donating money to the United Food Bank. So if you'd like to donate to the food bank, please leave your phone on and have somebody call you. Okay, well let's get right into it then. Our first guest, and I'm very excited about this, relates to one of the best economic stories in the Valley. I'm a big personal fan and serve on the Gateway Airport Board Authority, but I'm pleased to have with us today the Executive Director and CEO of Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, Brian O'Neill. Brian, please come up. Thank you, Brian. Grab a seat. Brian, the airport is just getting to be a bigger and bigger deal. And I've shared with you in the past that I was on our city council many, many years ago, right after the Air Force handed the keys to that great facility to the city. And the joke that you're so tired of hearing me say is that the city kind of felt like the dog that had caught the car. Because we knew that this was something we wanted, but we didn't know exactly what we were going to do with it now that we got it. So remind folks who maybe didn't live through that with the rest of us, a little bit of the history of the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport.
Sure, well, we started out as a World War II Air Force base, a Williams Air Force Base, and during the BRAC closures, the base realignment and closure process in the early 90s, the facility was shuttered and was turned over to the City of Mesa and 5 other communities. We're a joint powers authority. We're owned by the City of Mesa, the City of Phoenix, the Town of Gilbert, the Town of Queen Creek, the City of Apache Junction, and the Gila River Indian Community. So, and little did I know that one of my bosses was going to be the interviewer today. Otherwise, I wouldn't have prepared stuff where I embellish a lot, but we'll have to just go with it.
Brian, the more embellishment, the better, actually, because that's how politicians work, I'm afraid. So the airport, like I say, every time I go, I keep thinking that we need to tell people about the airport, but actually, people know about the airport, right? I mean, how many people how many commercial passengers flew in and out of Gateway last year?
I think you're right. I think word is getting out. Last year, we had over 1.5 million passengers. It was a 10% increase over our busiest year. We've had a phenomenal first quarter of 2019. In January, we were up 22% compared to last January, February 24%, and in March we were up 26%. We did over 222,000 passengers, and we pumped over 2 million gallons of fuel during the month. So it was a huge increase and a huge success story for the East Valley.
And that's just the commercial airline traffic. There's also a whole lot more going on. Gateway is a lot more than just a commercial airline airport.
That's correct.
Tell us about some of the business activity out there.
Sure. So we've got a lot of private investment going on out at the airport, a lot of private development. One of the interesting things is that there's a growing need in the East Valley and at Gateway Airport for an opportunity for larger corporate jets to be based at the airport. You know, we've got 3 large hangars, but they're all the old World War II hangars with only a 17-foot door height. Some of these larger jets need 37 feet. We don't have the money nor the entrepreneurial spirit to do it, so private investors are coming in. We've got 4 projects underway right now where they're going to be building significant hangars and office space at the airport, all to meet the growing needs of, you know, as the East Valley continues to grow and more corporations are calling the East Valley home. You know, it's really spectacular to see all the development going on.
You know, it really is. If you have driven by the airport recently, you may have noticed there's 10 large industrial buildings that are being built immediately adjacent to the airport right along Ray Road, and that's just the beginning. I mean, there's many more large industrial buildings on their way to that neighborhood as well.
Yeah, those are actually City of Mesa buildings that are being built. But when we go out and talk to people about the airport, we tell them that those are our projects because it just makes the airport sound that much bigger.
And it does make you look better. That's true.
I mean, those, if you haven't been by the airport lately along Ray Road, there are 9 huge kind of flex industrial buildings that have really gone up overnight.
Right. And but speaking of big capital projects on the airport, I know. Tell us about the tower. We've got a tower out there that looks like it was built in 1970 by the Air Force.
We have a tower that was built by the Air Force in 1970.
Oh.
Okay. And the tower's too short, the cab is too small. It was made for a military purpose, and now it's serving a commercial purpose. And so we've been working hard, you especially have been working hard over the last 5, 6, 7 years to try and get federal legislation change that would allow us to use federal grant money to build the new air traffic control tower. I'm delighted to say this year we finally got it changed, so the FAA reauthorization bill now has taken out the $2 million cap on construction of towers so that we're able to use more of our AIP money, our Airport Improvement Program money. Plus now we're eligible for discretionary grants and we're eligible for that $1 billion infrastructure initiative that the administration put forward last year.
That's great. All the political wonks in the room just really got excited when you were talking about.
Yeah, you know what? We're hopeful that we're going to hear within the next 2 weeks, but we really have a good shot at getting that $18 million and having the federal government pick up the cost of the new tower, which would be wonderful.
That would be super cool. So, but for even if you're passively interested, you're going to see a really cool tower come up at Gateway Airport. It's going to be great in the next couple of years.
It's going to be a monument for the East Valley. When you're coming around the 202 or on the 24, it's really going to stand out, and you're going to say, wow, there's a real airport down there.
Brian, I'm sure you get this question every day, and you're probably sick of it, so I'm not going to ask the question. But I'm assuming you get asked the question frequently, when are we going to get more or different airlines out at the airport? Yeah, I'm not going to ask that question.
Okay. If you were to ask it, I would answer it this way.
Okay.
I would say that, you know, we are continually working with the airlines to tell the Gateway Airport and the Phoenix East Valley story. You know, when I first started meeting with some of these airlines back in 2015, they thought Mesa had 35,000 people, and it was just a suburb of Phoenix. And when you tell them that Mesa is right now eclipsing 500,000 people, and Gilbert's got 250, and Chandler's got 260, they really are beginning to understand that this is a market, a standalone market that needs to be served. So right now we've got great service by 4 domestic and international airlines that do non-daily service, but I really think that on our horizon would be, and I'll use United as an example, I think if we could get twice daily jet service to Denver and beyond, it would allow those frequent flying business travelers that live and work in the East Valley to be able to fly out of their own hometown airport. And I think it would be a game changer for not only the airport, but for the economy of the East Valley.
Well, I know you're working very hard on that, and just so people know how to set their expectations, I think that's the next big leap that we're going to make at the airport is getting something like United that goes, or Delta that goes to another hub, a Salt Lake or a Denver or something, and then that'll open up the whole country to Gateway Airport.
It will, and you know, sometimes airlines are hesitant and they'll say, no, I already serve Phoenix through Sky Harbor. But I think we really have a good example. WestJet, which is a high-quality Canadian airline, they have an operation at Sky Harbor. They also have an operation at Gateway Airport. And when they started at Gateway Airport, they had tremendous success, and the load factor and the yield at Sky Harbor went up. So it's not like robbing from Peter to pay Paul. It's kind of the rising tide floats all boats. So having an operation at both airports didn't hamper the success of the operation at Sky Harbor.
I think that's a great point, and something that people are starting to realize is that the East Valley, Mesa and the East Valley, really is a separate destination from Phoenix. It's like Southern California. A lot of people choose to fly into John Wayne or a different airport rather than LAX because they're going a different place than where LAX is.
Yeah, and when you tell the airport schedule planners that the city of Mesa is bigger than St. Louis or bigger than Atlanta or bigger than some of these other major cities, they understand that they really need to serve,
Right.
It's a market that needs to be served.
So hopefully the airlines are watching this segment and they'll bring something else. But just to put a bow on this, we have 4 airlines currently, correct? Someone's calling? Oh, Brian, your phone rang. Thank you so much.
I woke up this morning and I said, you know what? I want to contribute to the food bank.
That's great.
I left my phone on.
Everybody give it up for Brian. Nice. What a generous man you are.
No better way to spend my money.
That's great. So, but to the Reader's Digest wrap up of this is right now we're flying to how many different cities from Gateway with how many different airlines?
We've got 4 different airlines, and we fly to 49 different domestic and international markets. And matter of fact, last week we just started nonstop service to Grand Junction, Colorado on Allegiant, and next month we will start service to Kalispell, Montana. So Allegiant has done a nice job of continuing to invest in Mesa, in the airport, and in the East Valley. And we've got 3 Canadian airlines that provide service to Calgary, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. And really, I think there's a lot of connectivity between Canada and the secondary, the winter home market in the East Valley. And so I think those flights have been really successful.
We've got a huge connection with Mesa through the airport with, as you mentioned, Canada. We get thousands and thousands of winter visitors that come through the airport from Canada. And in a moment, we're going to talk about the strong connection with Mexico. So it really is a very international airport, and it helps us connect in a big way to those important countries. Speaking of Allegiant, we really appreciate Allegiant. Like you say, they do a lot of, take care of a lot of great people at the airport. I noticed you brought something with you. Tell us what giveaway we have today. And look, we have the cards already.
All right.
Go ahead.
So we did. Allegiant was generous enough to donate 2 round-trip tickets. And if you think about it, it's actually 2 $250 vouchers. So if anyone has flown Allegiant before and you've got 2 $250 vouchers, $500, you book the right ticket, you go to the right place, you can take the whole family. So they've donated at least 2 round-trip tickets. But again, it's $500, and you can stretch that as far as you want that to go.
That's right. $500 on Allegiant will get you around the world, pretty much. As long as you want to go to Kalispell, Montana, and not any further. Right? Okay. All right. So we're going to have good luck to everybody. All right. Are you getting nervous a little bit? Brian, please pick the lucky winner for the $500 of air travel on Allegiant out of Gateway Airport. Here we go. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite people in the world, Yvonne Martinez. You and Jen are going on a trip. All right. Isn't that interesting? I thought everybody would be really mad that they didn't win, but instead we're happy that Yvonne won because we like Yvonne so much. Well, thank you. Okay, we're almost at it. We're this close to being out of time.
All right.
Here's something that's really interesting about you that people don't know. You played college football, right?
I did, yep.
Was it Delaware?
University of New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, okay. Yep. And you are such a fit, trim young man right now. People don't realize, what position did you play at New Hampshire?
I was a 300-pound nose tackle.
He was a 300-pound nose tackle. And you were you were good, but your son was even better than you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a football family. Your son is another big guy that was a very successful college football player.
He was, yeah. I played at the University of New Hampshire. My brother played at the University of New Hampshire, and then my son played at the University of New Hampshire.
That's great.
So all you UNH fans out there, go Wildcats.
All right. Well, we are very lucky to have Brian running our airport. He's doing a great job, and as you can tell, Gateway Airport is really on fire. Not literally, but it's figuratively on fire. Lots of great activity going on out there. Like I say, it's a very poorly kept secret. I'm sure a lot of us are wearing that place out, but more good news to come. So thank you very much, Brian. Doing a great job.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, I'm excited because the next segment of the show is the mystery guest, right? I know we're all kind of on pins and needles to find out who is the mystery guest going to be. I'm going to end the suspense right now, ladies and gentlemen. Our mystery guest is Mr. Rustin Schur from Arizona Public Service. Rustin, please come forward. Thank you, Rustin. Grab a seat. Okay, Rustin, so I got to ask you the first question. I'm sure on the top of everyone's mind, given that you are here from Arizona Public Service.
Yes.
And there's, as I understand it, and we love APS. They are great community partners, do a lot to help our community, very generous in supporting great causes. But there's no service area for APS in the city of Mesa. So why are you here?
It's a great question. Unfortunately, we do not serve the city of Mesa,
Yes.
but we do not ignore the city of Mesa. This is an incredibly important community for us in the East Valley, 500,000 people, and some tremendous nonprofits that do great work that extend beyond the borders of Mesa. So thank you, Brian. Where did Brian go?
He's around.
Didn't see him, he's around his arm.
Yeah.
Thank you for having your phone ring. I serve, for example, with the United Food Bank.
Yes,
I'm
you
on
do.
the board there,
Yeah.
and it's an organization that works in 5 different Arizona counties. We serve about 500,000 people. Most people think that, it's just here in Mesa because that's what they see, but actually, United Food Bank is in Pinal, it's in Gila, it's in Apache, and it's in Navajo counties as well. So it's expansive reach in territories where we do have APS customers and where we do serve. There are a lot of organizations like that, a United Way, a New Leaf.
Sure.
Other organizations that really make an impact in our communities that we care about and that we want to support, and we want to make sure people know about that.
Well, and I apologize for framing the question in such a smart alecky way, because it's obvious why you're here. I mean,
Sure.
APS is such an integral part of the Valley and of Maricopa County, and Mesa is such an integral part of that as well, that I know you guys have every reason to be supportive of Mesa and for wanting Mesa to succeed, because we're an important part of your service area. So thank you. As Rustin indicated, APS is, through him and other wonderful people, very embedded in our community, particularly in supporting the nonprofits and helping and being a great corporate citizen. So we appreciate that. Now I've heard that there is a special, tell us about it, there's a special program this summer that APS is using to help people with utility bills?
Yes, great question. Right now we're marketing our 100 Days of Helping campaign, which is our effort essentially to get customers aware of limited assistance bill programs that we have. So if you qualify, you can save 25% off of your electric bill, which is important, as we get into higher summer billing months. And even though it's not directly impacting people that live right here in Mesa, there are a lot of people in Mesa that have family that live in other areas where we do serve. They own a business outside of Mesa, and their employees are residents of other areas where we serve. So telling them that, this is available is a good thing. A lot of people don't know that we have medical programs to assist seniors and those on fixed incomes with medical equipment in the home. So if you have a dialysis machine or if you have oxygen tanks, you can qualify for up to a 35% bill savings off of the APS electric bill. So things that we do like that are designed to help folks get through the summer months when we know that energy consumption is higher and bills are higher. We also have emergency crisis funding. So you can qualify for up to $400 to help you with your energy bill if you lose your job, or if you have a medical emergency where you're in the hospital, things like that. So we try to do it now before summer hits so you don't feel like you're in a crisis when it's June or July. We try to get the word out early.
Well, thanks for all the good work you do. And more importantly, I think you're about to help some people in Mesa right now by giving away something. Is that right? I think we've got some exciting tickets. Tell us what you've brought to give away today.
So we've got a set of 8 Arizona Diamondbacks tickets for an upcoming game. We don't have the game yet, but it's going to be a game this year. So I can't give you the specifics, but I'm good for it. You've got my word on that. You've got me on TV, so I'm right here.
That's great.
So you can take your family, you can take your friends, you can take your colleagues from your business, and I'll get the tickets to you as soon as I.
That's great. 8. I mean, this is a party we're talking about. All right. This is not just
right.
You and some buddy off the street. You can take 7 of your best friends to have a really good time at the D-backs game. So, Rustin, let's pick a lucky winner from 8 D-backs tickets.
All right, I put a few cards in here myself. Let's see. All right, so Brian Vivian from Thompson's Auto Repair in Cohen.
Thank you.
Okay. That's the winner.
Brian, I'm taking your card out, so you're ineligible for any other gifts. That's a big deal.
All right.
Well, again, thank you so much to APS for all the good work you do in Mesa, just because you're nice, not because you're billing us for anything. And particularly all of the nonprofit work that you do in our community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. We
Thanks.
really care.
Okay, Rustin, thank you very much. We'll see you. Thank you. All right, the hardest part of this job is staying on time. So we're almost on time. The next one, you guys are really going to love this. This is the Community Spotlight. So we talk about some really great people that are doing great things in our community. Very excited to have with us today from the Boys and Girls Clubs of the East Valley, the CEO of that organization, Connie Perez. Please welcome Connie. Thank you, Connie. Thank you so much. Connie, you are doing such great work in our city. Thank you so much. Tell us about the East Valley Boys and Girls Club. I'm sure you've got an elevator speech and you can give it to us in a
We'll be quick. So
yes.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of the East Valley is actually 11 clubs in 9 communities, and we stretch all the way from Apache Junction out to our Gila River Club in Laveen. In Mesa, we actually have 2 clubs. One, the Grant Woods branch, which is kind of in that Rotary Park area. And then we have a small club on the campus of Stevenson School.
See, and before the show, you and I were talking about this because
Yes.
I said, okay, you have 2 clubs. Familiar with the Grant Woods Club. It's a beautiful structure, does a large capacity for helping a lot of people. Tell us that the Stevenson Club is on the campus of Stevenson Elementary School.
It is.
What part of Mesa is that located in?
Kind of the east and kind of around Power, just off of the 60.
Which is now the middle of Mesa, believe it or not.
Yeah, hard to believe.
That's great.
But it's a small club. It's actually 2 portables. So we have, on any given day, 60 or 70 kids there. It's really interesting because it is, the things that they're doing are amazing given what they have. My very first tour there, I went in and I saw like on top of boxes that were like on the side, because they don't have very much storage, it was like I couldn't tell what it was. It looked like a charging station, had all these little things on it. What it was, it's their bots. And the kids actually program, they draw lines like black, blue, blue, black, and it tells the bot which way to go. Wow. And these kids are actually learning the basics of programming in this tiny little portable.
So when I think of Boys and Girls Clubs, I'm thinking primarily after-school programming. Is that
after school
the
and
bulk
summer.
of what you do? Okay.
So the best way to think about Boys and Girls Clubs is we're in session when school is out.
Okay.
So after school, but in Mesa, actually, because we have our Mesa Arts Academy, charter school on the same campus as the Grant Woods branch. We open at 7 in the morning. The kids come in for breakfast, and we are open for the teens until 9 at night.
Wow.
So during the day, we're trying to work more closely with the community to make sure we're using our buildings. And sometimes we have online or charter schools that will come in and use our building during the day.
That's great. Yeah. So speaking of working with the community, I'm sure you need help. For folks that are maybe here or watching this on TV and they say, wow, what a great organization, I should do more to help the youth in my community, what's at the top of your list of things that people can do to help you?
So the first thing I would say is if you ever have a chance, just come and visit us at the club so they understand what we do. People think about it as safe, fun, after school time, and it is, but it's also very programmatic. We have academic success, good character and citizenship programs, healthy lifestyle programs. So the best way to figure out how to help is to get over there and see it for yourself. Certainly, we always need donations, but those donations can be to very specific programs or buildings or things that align with what you care about. So donations are always great. We love to have companies come and do projects. And the most fun is when they come and do a project like clean up a room or something like that, but then they do stuff like have root beer floats and pizza with the kids, so they get a chance to work with them.
Sounds like you're really hard to work with. Just kidding. I mean, I think it sounds like literally anything that somebody might want to do, the answer from you is yes, please come and do that.
I think the important thing is that when people come to help us, it's meeting their objectives as well, not just ours, because that's how we get to be a part of the community.
That's great.
And we're working really hard on that.
Well, this is a much needed program in our city, and so we are very grateful for the great work that you do.
Thank you so much.
Let's spread the word that we all need to rally around the East Valley Boys and Girls Club. This is a great organization in our city.
We certainly appreciate it, and all of you. And your team has really stepped up this year to help us. So just want to thank Dennis and Liz and the team at the city.
Well, that's why we're here. All right, well, thank you very much, Connie.
Sir.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Connie. Thank you, Connie Perez from East Valley Boys and Girls Club. Let's talk more about that great organization. All right, this is one of the fun parts of the show. Thank you for sticking with us this long. This is where it gets really, really entertaining. We're happy to invite forward from the East Valley Tribune, Lynette Carrington, to help us with our top 10 list. Lynette. Welcome, good to see you. Please grab a seat.
Always good to see you.
All right. We're always on pins and needles for the top 10 list. I think people look forward to this a lot, right?
We're going to be on pins and needles just a little bit longer.
Okay.
Because I have to give a shout out to all of the Mesa Chamber member businesses that won awards in our March 31st issue of the Best of Mesa. I'm going to hold up. Maybe you can get a shot of this. Hang on.
Nice. So,
how cool is this cover, by the way?
That is cool.
Very cool.
So the Best of Mesa.
Best of Mesa. This came out on March 31st, and I believe Bob made a slide. You can look back there. Those are all of the chamber winners.
Oh, I recognize. There are a lot of great people up there.
And you can read the full list at eastvalleytribune.com, and you can get all the winners there.
All right.
And now we need to transition over to our top 10.
Building
list. On the club theme. Thank you, Connie.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
So we're talking about clubs.
Clubs.
Okay.
Clubs. So college is a very important time, and one of the fun things about college is joining an exciting club. And because Mesa Morning Live is a huge advocate of education, we are going to talk about the top 10 best college clubs nationwide. And these are real. I know some of them sound a little goofy, but no, these are all real. Here we go, number 10, Free Compliments Club at Tufts University. Students plant themselves outside the school's library and other buildings across campus to compliment other students who are walking around. And this might be the nicest club ever. I think every university should have something like this.
This is actually, if you think about this is actually a very nice idea, isn't it? Sure. I wish we had a Free Compliments Club in downtown Mesa. There are days, those days that I mistakenly read the comment sections on Facebook and I don't feel good about myself or about the world in general. It would be nice to have a compliment.
I think you should head up that club, Mayor.
Okay.
All right, number 9, Childish Games Commission at Kalamazoo College. Yes, again, that's a real thing. You either played it as a kid or wish that you had. This club dives into all the old-fashioned favorites, including Twister, Capture the Flag, and Slip and Slide.
I'm a little concerned about this one. It's a commission, not a club. All right? And do you really want to bring bureaucracy into child games? So no. I'm sorry, I don't know that this
okay.
I can support.
That one's not getting our vote there. All right. The Napping Club at Colby College.
Yeah.
The school's website mentions that the group is discussion-based and focused on encouraging proper napping techniques, and hopefully members will find ample time to put those techniques into practice.
Every college student I've ever known has been a member of the Napping Club.
Yeah. And you get bonus points for power napping, I think, too. Right. Number 7, the 8-Bit Orchestra at the University of Delaware, a group dedicated to performing music from video games. The Ultimate Geek Club.
See, again, I don't get this because video game, this is the old style, like the Super Mario, you know, it sounds like bad organ music, right? Except for the wah, 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 wah at the end when you die. I can't see that performed by an orchestra. I don't, again, not a club, it's an orchestra. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it sounds
It sounds like something that would be interesting for about 1 minute.
it's social, demented and sad, but social.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Number 6, the Cheese Club at SUNY Purchase. Cheese lovers unite. If you're not utterly obsessed with cheese, then you don't belong in this club. Check out the club's Tumblr called Eat Cheese or Die for further proof of their devotion to cheese. I don't understand that one, but okay.
No, I love that one. I'm going to join that one.
Get that. Number 5, the Concrete Canoe Club at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Though it may sound like an oxymoron, the engineers of this incredibly unique organization have found a way to make concrete float. In fact, they're even entered competitions nationwide and placed second in the 2011 National Concrete Canoe Competition in Evansville, Indiana. That's pretty impressive, I guess.
There are nerdy members of my family that I'm sure if they went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison would be in this club.
Okay.
Because the idea of making a boat out of concrete is something that they would just really get into.
Okay, now number 4, this is a real blast. The Society for Explosives Engineers at the University of Arizona. The name pretty much sums it up. These students like to blow things up as they pursue careers in mining.
You lost me at University of Arizona.
Sorry, U of A.
I'm afraid this reinforces my impression that I've never found anything interesting about anything coming out of the University of Arizona. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not all that interesting, okay?
All right, let's move on. Number 3, the Dignified Educated United Crust Eaters Society at the Western Michigan University. Is the crust the best part of the pizza? If you say yes, you're not alone. This group set out to bring a stop to the discrimination of crust and was made for people who like pizza. Number 2, this one is my favorite.
Okay.
Bacon of the Month Club at UNC Chapel Hill.
Of
Members
course.
have the opportunity to sample all kinds of bacon, even if they have special religious or dietary needs. That sounds like a cheat card, doesn't it?
This is the best idea I've seen in a long time because if you think about it, bacon fits perfectly into an envelope, right?
Okay.
Freeze that thing as hard as you can, put it in an envelope, mail it out. It's going to be probably just about right when it gets to your house. The only thing I can think of is if you take the cheese club and the bacon club and you put them together, that's a really good idea.
That's a good idea. I like that. I like that. And number 1 is the Hammock Club at Calvin College. Students in this club love to leisurely lounge in hammocks and unwind from intense study schedules. The struggle in college is real.
Well, again, I think this would be a good idea for a short period of time because very quickly the joke is going to get old. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just hanging around. I mean, how often can you say that over the course of a nap, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, but I'm sure Calvin College is really enjoying it.
Thank
you.
you.
That was a great top 10 list.
Thanks. Thank you, Bob.
You bet. Thanks, Bob, for helping us with that.
Thanks.
And thanks to the East Valley Tribune for being a great sponsor of Mason Morning Live. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We are right on time. I don't think Mark Cordes is going to have a job when he comes back because this thing is hitting on all cylinders. All right. Today, right next, though, we have our Day in Mesa Morning Live. For those of you who are trivia buffs about this program, this is where you get to show off how much you know about this. And the person who's going to share this great trivia contest with us is Mike Pickard from Ocean Air. Mike, please come on up and tell us about this. Thank you, Mike. How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, Mike, this is actually a very complicated game, right? Because we're going to pick somebody out of a hat to answer this trivia question. They can't, and the audience can't help them, but they can pick one lifeline person to help them. Is that roughly?
One lifeline person who is not a chamber employee.
All right. So anybody can help you if they likely don't know the answer and they can't help you. That was a joke. I'm just kidding.
And the winner is going to get a $50 gift card to our breakfast provider, Cracker Barrel. So.
Oh, that's a big deal. Wow. All right, well, the tension just mounted. So do we begin by
gotta pick somebody.
Okay, here's who's going to compete for the $50
make me do it,
Cracker
okay.
Barrel gift card.
It is your glasses.
Okay, Shannon Tolbert from the franchise owner of a Modern Acupuncture. Francis, come on up.
Come on up, Francis.
Francis. Oh, I'm sorry. Shannon. How did we get Francis out of Shannon? That's terrible. Okay, Shannon, thank you so much. Please come on up. Okay, we're going to make this as easy as possible. Okay? Tell her the rule, or tell her how to play.
I'm going to ask you a trivia question. Well, first of all, tell us about you.
I have lived in Arizona since 2012, and I own 2 franchises called Modern Acupuncture.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we're giving you a trivia question. This dates back to 2013. Okay. Now, you can ask anybody in the audience except any chamber employee to do your lifeline. Okay. In 2013, the top 10 list you just heard was the top 10 reasons to attend a Mesa Chamber Awards dinner. Which, by the way, you don't need 10 reasons. You need 1 reason to attend this dinner next Thursday night. It's the Mesa Chamber Awards dinner. How many are going? How many are going to the awards dinner next Thursday? So, the rest of you need to go. So it's my understanding there's tickets left. So, right? Yeah. So
I'd be shocked if
sign
there's
up
tickets
and
left.
get your tickets for the awards dinner. But in 2013, the top 10 was the top 10 reasons to attend the Mesa Chamber Awards dinner. Number 2 reason, this person was mentioned, and they're in this room today.
Shannon, surely you know the answer to this question.
I do not. I'm looking for a lifeline right now.
It could be somebody behind a microphone.
Oh, okay.
Could be.
It would be you.
Well, pick him to be your lifeline.
Oh, that's right. Can you be my lifeline?
What company do I represent?
You represent Cooling Company.
Ocean Air.
Ocean. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
As long as we get my mention out there, I'm good. So, yeah, I can be your lifeline.
Okay.
Okay, say Mike Picard.
Mike Picard.
Good job.
Nice, good answer. All right. Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank
It
you.
actually wasn't a positive reference. Mark Cordes said the number 2 reason to attend the awards dinner was you get to meet really nice people or Mike Picard. So it wasn't a nice reference.
All right. Well, Mike, nice job. I think there was probably 2 people in the room that were male members of the chamber back in 2013. How many people were members of the chamber in 2013? I take it back. Wow, look at that.
That's because it's a great chamber.
All right. Well, thank you. And we'll all look forward to a great award ceremony Thursday night, right? Mike, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Okay, this is why you all came. Our featured guest for the program today is, I think you've all heard the phrase Skybridge. This is something we've been talking about for months in Mesa. We're very excited about it. It's tied to our previous guest, Brian, out at Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. This is the big news, international news. It's really something on a national level. When people are talking about Mesa, Arizona right now, it's probably in reference to Skybridge. So I'm excited for you to learn more about this program. And from Skybridge, we're happy to welcome Jose Pablo Martinez. Jose, please come up. Good to have you here, Jose. Okay, so the first thing we have to get over is tell us what I'm supposed to call you, because I've always called, you have a great nickname,
Yes.
and that's Pablo.
Pablo, exactly.
But should we call you Jose or Pablo or Mr. Martinez, or can I just call you Pablo? Like
You can call me Pablo.
Okay.
Yeah, officially Jose Pablo, but Pablo is great.
All right.
Means turkey, right?
Well, this is another story. In Korean, the word it's not a nice thing to call someone a Pablo, but
What does Pablo mean in Korean?
Pablo means a fool. So if you don't want people to call you
No,
Pablo,
not in
but
Korea.
It's an easy name to remember. So
Yes.
now that I think about it, I'm going to call you Jose.
Thank you. No mistakes there.
All right, Jose, tell us about. Everybody has heard of Skybridge, but I think there's still a lot of misunderstanding. The governor made a big announcement. There's 300 acres of property immediately adjacent to the runway at Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport that we went through a competitive process, and Skybridge was the selected developer for that property. And tell us why we ought to be here in the East Valley really excited about Skybridge.
So Skybridge is a couple of things. One, first and foremost, it is a 360-acre development on the airport. It's aeronautical and industrial, so we have a lot of uses. We are even going to put a hotel down the road. But it's also a joint customs program with the United States and Mexico. So right now, it is an active customs base we have a customs agent from Mexico, from Nogales, Sonora there. He's been based there for about 2 months. We've been kicking this off. It's gone very well. We do not have scheduled service yet, but we do charter operations for some clients that want to get their stuff in and out of Mexico very quick. So the benefit of having both customs under the same roof means that the export and the import process goes on under the same roof with CBP and with Mexican customs. So that means whenever something goes out of our facility in Mesa, it lands in Mexico, wherever in Mexico, as domestic cargo. So no need to go through customs in Mexico. So it makes so it expedites the process that much more. It's something that does not exist anywhere else in the United States for air cargo. Mesa is the first pilot, the first program there. It's been working phenomenally for about 5 years on border towns for truck traffic. So now this is the next step going through air cargo. So it's been a while, as you know. We've been getting this done for about 2.5 years, getting both US and Mexican entities under the same agreements was not an easy feat. With the help of the Airport Authority and both countries, we got it done, but now we're trying to ramp it up and to do this more streamlined and open to all the public.
So let me just touch on a couple of the highlights of what you just said. This is actually a very big deal. There's only one airport in the country where there's a joint agreement between the United States and Mexico on customs that says, and that has a Mexican customs official working there that's pre-clearing cargo, meaning that if this airplane full of stuff can fly to any of the 180 airports in Mexico like a domestic flight, there's no other bureaucratic rigmarole that has to be gone through. And the impact in terms of time of getting something from the United States into Mexico, I mean, you just skipped over days or weeks of waiting.
Exactly. I mean, bigger clients, let's say an Amazon, they streamline the process a lot. They can maybe, between getting something in a warehouse from here into Mexico, that can take, let's say, 2 or 3 days. But for smaller clients, not huge conglomerates, they can take a couple of weeks to do this. So this helps out a lot. And it also helps out in Mexico, as you know, we've had a lot of trouble with people stealing cargo trucks. So this is even an added benefit to that because it makes cargo more secure. And it is point to point from Mesa to any airport in Mexico, even if they do not have a customs agent on site. So that's the best part.
So we're obviously very excited in Mesa and on the U.S. side of the border with regard to this program, but I've been really impressed lately. High-ranking officials in Mexico are talking about this program and talking about Mesa a lot. Tell us a little bit about that.
A couple of weeks ago, there was an incoming administration in Mexico as of December 1st of last year, a new president in Mexico with a new cabinet. But the the Secretary of Finance actually tweeted a couple of weeks ago that Mesa was the only place that this program is piloted. So it's now international news. It's all over Mexico. It's all over the United States. The CBP Commissioner, Kevin McAleenan, who is maybe going to be the Department of Homeland Security top man, he also is one of the pioneers on this program. So it's both governments working together to build bridges and to build more commerce in both countries because, as you well know, Mexico and Arizona are top trade partners in itself. So this is just something that helps both countries a lot.
We've had some great visitors from the Mexican government come to Mesa to celebrate this program. I mean, the head of the Customs Department, I mean, I was at a lunch the other day with talking about Skybridge, and introduced around the table, there were 3 cabinet secretaries from the Mexican government that were eating lunch in Mesa, Arizona. And the thought dawned on me, I wonder who's running Mexico today, because everybody's at lunch in Mesa. It's been fun to see what a top level program this is on both sides of the government. So that's a really cool idea. We got this program that isn't anywhere else, but as you mentioned, it's also 360 acres of real estate.
Yes.
And it's going to take a little bit of time I think we need to set people's expectations. You don't
Yes.
develop 360 acres of real estate in 2 or 3 years.
Not at all.
So give us kind of the timeline of how this is going to unfold.
So the way that we've pulled this together, as you can see there, that's more or less our land use. It's a 15-year absorption program because it's a little bit less than 4 million square feet at full build-out. So that's a lot of real estate that we have to develop. So right now we are going through 2 different fronts. One is getting environmental clearance and environmental assessment from the FAA, because as we are on airport land, we need to get their approval to the whole master plan. So we expect to get that done in about 2 or 3 months. And so once we get that done, we're gonna start putting in all the infrastructure you see there, which means the new taxi lane, which means Bronzeways, underground infrastructure. And then there's another component that we have 2 lots on our leasehold that are already on improved land. So whoever has been to the airport, where the fire station and the ice building is, and right south to that, there are a couple of lots that are under our leasehold. We do not own the land. It is a long-term lease that we're gonna start putting buildings up there in 2 to 3 months. So we kicked off the process this week to get some design build contracts with local great contractors here. So we're gonna go through that process the next 2 to 3 weeks and get our first buildings up. So one is gonna be a general industrial, and the other is gonna be, as Brian said, there's a lot of demand for corporate hangars. So we're also gonna do one of those buildings. So that's very exciting for us because that's the way that people actually know we're for real, that we are actually doing stuff in Mesa, because right now it's been in the news, it's been with the governor, but nothing has really happened on the real estate side. So this is something very exciting for us, for the city, for the airport. So we're very excited that this is gonna happen in the near future.
Well, I know we've been getting a lot of great reports, and there's a lot to be done before a building can go up, particularly on an airport. I know there's still been a lot of environmental studies that the government requires you to go through, and I think we're at the end of a lot of that bureaucracy, and we're going to start seeing some actual development occurring there. So that's very exciting. Jose, we just tell us a little bit about you. You're a fascinating person. I know it seems like you wake up and work all day long in Mesa, Arizona, but you've kind of been splitting your time between Mesa and Mexico for the last several months, haven't you?
Yes, for the last actually year and a half now, between Mexico City and Mesa. Right now, my home is Mexico City, but more and more so, my home has become Arizona and Mesa specifically. So I love this. I had never actually been here other than for this project, but now it's just a great place to be. I love the relationship we've been able to build, the relationship with yourself, with Councilmember Luna. We just had a great time. We've had a blast. This is the first project we do in the United States, and I think it's going to be one of many, but we just love doing business here. And I mean, the back and forth takes a toll on you because it's a lot of traveling you have to do, but you get used to it, and it's been great.
I've always been worried because I know you're engaged, and that's got to be, tell us, are you getting married and bringing your bride back to Arizona, or how are you going to make that work?
We're talking through that. I'm getting married in August, at the end of August, so she is excited of the possibility of us to live here, so we've talked about it a lot. She loves the place. She's been here a couple of times, so she loves it. So yeah, let's see. We hope so.
Well, that's great. Well, we'd love to have you make Mesa your permanent home.
Thank you, Mayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very exciting project. There's lots to look forward to. And again, our kids are going to be talking about Skybridge. This is a huge development that's going to take many, many years, but the net impact is going to be measured in the billions of dollars and in the thousands of jobs. So it'll be really fun to see this unroll over the next several years in our community. So for people that want to know more, give us, again, you mentioned hotels, you mentioned obviously some aviation-related businesses are going to be drawn to the airport, but it's not exclusively that. What, 10 years from now, when we go to Gateway Airport, what are we going to see that is Skybridge?
I think that people that have read about Skybridge think that this is a purely air cargo play. And it is, but it is not. I mean, because air cargo, they use up space, but they don't use a lot. So our end goal at the end of the day is that, let's say 10% of the development is used by air cargo companies, freight forwarders, let's say a UPS, a DHL, a FedEx. But the rest is people who manufacture planes, people who maintain planes for MRO facilities, for corporate hangars, for just general warehouse and distribution. So we do have, let's say, of our 4 million square feet, about 30% is aeronautical. Let's say 50% is just general industrial, which there is a lot of demand for the Eastern Valley. And then we have an office component, we have a hotel component, smaller, but once we build critical mass here, it's gonna be a nice service to have. And then we have the ASU Research Park right around the corner, which is another 300-acre development. And we've been talking closely with ASU also because we do not want to compete against each other. We want to complement each other. So whatever ASU, I mean, the huge campus that they have right there, and that's also an added value for us. Whenever we talk about this project with the outside world, they always say, so where are we going to get my workforce, skilled workforce? We said, I mean, we have 3 community colleges right in front. We have ASU. That's about 10,000 students there. So it's just a great place to be now. So that's what we believe it's going to be in about 10 or 15 years is a lot of aviation-related businesses. I was actually in Atlanta yesterday at an MRO conference for the maintenance, repair, and overhaul. And all of these people need space, and they need space now. Because there is not a lot of places in the United States with this kind of infrastructure, the huge 10,000-foot runways. I mean, there's 3 with the highway connectivity, with the schools right there. Then you have housing, then you have commercial development. So this is a model airport. I mean, there was a lot of people coming up to me and to Shay from the airport authority saying, I mean, we've studied your airport for the past year and a half, and it's great what you've done there. I mean, just the whole development of 9 or 10 industrial buildings that are going up. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and we think that we can capitalize this.
That's great. And you know, one of the things I really like about Skybridge, you can go across the country and see a lot of public-private partnerships where the government and developers have come together to make something big happen. And typically, the risk and the initial investment of significant amounts of money to create the infrastructure that burden is on the government. And business comes in with whatever they bring. But in this situation, the people who are actually paying the tens of millions of dollars to take dirt and turn it into streets with curbs and gutters and all the infrastructure you need to create a city within a city, that's coming from Skybridge. So it really is unique in a lot of ways. I think a lot of other cities and towns that examine this are going to be very envious of the great investment that's coming to our community. And again, you've talked with really some world-class manufacturers. It's going to be fun to see a lot of the name brands that come and locate at the airport as a result of this development.
Yes, there's a lot of appetite to be here. Obviously, they're just waiting for the infrastructure to go down.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all this infrastructure, streets, underground infrastructure, that's going to revert back to the city of Mesa as soon as we build it out. And the taxi lane, taxiway, as soon as we build it out, it's going to revert back to the airport authority. So this is infrastructure that the city of Mesa owns, that the city of Mesa is going to maintain, but we're going to foot the bill at the beginning. And this is just going to help out the city as a whole.
One of the other reasons I'm really excited about Skybridge is because I like avocados. And obviously there's a strong connection between Skybridge and avocados.
Yes, sir.
Now, your job is to fill airplanes with all kinds of really cool stuff and send it down to Mexico 24 hours a day without any customs issues.
Yes.
And so is the plan for then these airplanes to come back empty from Mexico?
Not at all.
No, oh, okay.
Empty planes.
What might be inside these
empty
airplanes?
planes don't produce money, so as avocados.
Oh.
Right?
All right, yes.
So what we're looking at is obviously high value goods are produced in the United States and Mexican consumers want and need them. But on the way up, we're looking very closely at high value agricultural products, let's say berries, avocados. So what this helps out is instead of being on a hotshot truck 2 days to get into the United States, it can be a 2-hour plane ride. So avocados normally ripen on the vine. So we can normally when you buy avocados here, they're not the biggest ones. If you buy avocados in Mexico, we have these huge things right there. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of product that we want to send over to Mesa and to Arizona is high quality agriculture, asparagus, berries, avocados, mangoes. So these, because we're not going to sell corn, right? So stuff that is a little bit more expensive, dense, and that's how we're working around with U.S. agricultural agencies, Mexican agricultural agencies. So this kind of pipeline is what we're working on. It's not an overnight thing that we can just get done because there's a lot of government approvals of things. And when you're sending agriculture into the United States, you guys are picky. So we need to...
There is that, but again, one of the cabinet secretaries that was here for lunch a little while ago was the Secretary of Agriculture.
Yes.
So I mean, we're dealing with the right people in Mexico to make this
Exactly.
happen.
So the right pieces are there. It's hurting a lot of cats because it's the owners of the planes, the owners of the freight forwarders, the government agencies, end users, distributors. So it's just getting everybody on the table and just working out those kinks.
I was fascinated to hear the other day, someone explained to me the way that flowers come to the United States. And it's really through, well, do you know this story better than I do?
I'll help you out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, apparently, a lot of the flowers that occupy our floral shops in the United States they come from warmer climates. They come from Central America and Mexico and South America, and nearly all of them find their way through. Miami. Is it Miami?
Miami. 90% of flowers that come to the United States fly into Miami.
Yeah, and so Mesa could be
yes.
the Miami of avocados or flowers or what, but we need a hub to get all of this great perishable stuff from Central and South America and Mexico into the United States.
And we have a great relationship. There is a commodity market in Mexico called Central de Abastos. It's the biggest commodity market in Latin America. So about 500,000 people work there every single day. I don't know how many tons, So we have a good relationship with the administration there. So we're trying to set something up similar to that in Mesa at Skybridge. So we can just say, you know what, I need 2 tons of tomatoes. And so they're on a plane ride back here next day. So that kind of things that we can be the West Coast hub for flowers and perishables. Because right now, flowers fly into Miami, then it's a truck, a refrigerated truck, and then you have to drive, I don't know how many hours or days just to get here. Mm-hmm. So this is the right location because trying to do it out of California is just not cost competitive. But here we have the advantage of the business environment is just great. Taxes are not that high. The cost of living is not that high. So it's the right time in the right place, mm-hmm. we believe, to get this done.
Well, absolutely. And as we talked about just a few minutes ago, the Gateway Airport is this amazing asset that the city has. 3 10,000-foot runways and a lot of developable ground around the airport is really a very unique situation that's going to pay dividends for Mesa for many generations to come. So, like I say, our children and grandchildren will just take for granted that Mesa, Arizona is the hub for international trade. And we're seeing the groundwork of that occur right now with what we're doing at Skybridge. One last question. I understand you played football at the University of Delaware. Is that? Am I getting this right?
My father and my children.
Okay, you're okay. Well, great. You've really trimmed down since your college days. I really appreciate that.
Can you see my size?
Okay. Well, thank you. And I'm glad we had the opportunity to educate people a little bit more about Skybridge. Hopefully, you can help us generate some excitement, and it'll be fun to see all the great things happen out there. Jose, thank you very much for being here. You bet. Thank you. Well, I think our time was well served today. I mean, we got breakfast from Cracker Barrel, so that's a good enough reason to be here, right? So we'd invite everyone who wasn't here live to come next time to have a great breakfast and also to get one of these great bags of goodies that the folks that were here live are going to enjoy. We'd like to thank the great guests that we had today. We had Brian O'Neill, the Executive Director of the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport Authority. Learned a lot of great things about the airport. I'm glad that Connie Perez from the East Valley Boys and Girls Club was here. Hopefully we can all think of something we can do to assist with the youth in our community and particularly supporting the Boys and Girls Club. Rustin Schurer from some strange company called APS that has nothing to do with the city of Mesa was here. Just kidding. We appreciate all that APS does for Mesa, and they're great corporate partners. And it was fun to get caught up with the Skybridge project with Jose Pablo Martinez. I'm going to stop calling him Pablo now. I realize that's kind of a mean thing. So, Jose, I apologize. We have Jose from here on out. And again, of course, great thank you to our great corporate sponsors, the folks at Cracker Barrel fed us a great breakfast. We appreciate the beautiful facility here at Crescent Crown Distributing. They're great corporate partners. They let us, and lots of good causes, use this wonderful building. And again, to all of the sponsors that put nice stuff in the giveaway bags that Sally's passing out, thanks again for that. And as always, Channel 11, thank you for the resources that you provided the community to put this show on. It was a lot of fun. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the Chamber. We will look forward to seeing you at the Chamber Awards banquet next Thursday. And let's go out and make it a great day in Mesa. Thank you.